this is the schematic of the Tifosi bottom bracket. Okay, it's exaggerated, but you can see that the one side, in this case the non-drive side, is completely offset. So to machine that is a pain in the rear end. Then we go on to the little tit bits. Now the tit bits are this stuff. So choice of bearing, normally I would go with end to end, but the running clearance in this case will be tight. So in the end I went with NSK 6805s, class 6, keep the cost down, and VV seals. And then the fit, now I calculated the fit with I verified it with FEA. But what you can do is you can use a hoop stress calculation. So the hoop stress is normally you use it for thin wall pressure vessels, but instead of using pressure, you can use the stress generated by the interference times D, which in this case is 41 millimeters, or 41 times 10 to the minus 3 meters, divided by 2 times the wall thickness, and that'll give you the hoop stress. One of the schoolboy errors that you could do, and I've done them in the past, is you can mess up the strength of carbon fibre. Carbon fibre is strong, but it's only strong in one direction. It's strong in tension, but in compression it's not that strong. And if you have the fibres in the wrong direction, it's not that strong. Now, what I mean by that is, if for example you take a plastic bag, and plastic bags are quite a hard thing to come by in the UK since they started charging people for them. If you take a plastic bag, it's actually, the fibres run that way, so they're quite strong. But if you pull it across this way, it stretches quite easily. And the same thing happens with carbon. So what they do is they get lots of these layers and then orient them at 45 degrees, 30 degrees, 15 degrees to build it up, to give you the strength. But when it's around a hoop, so around in a circle, you've got stresses that are acting radially. So if you go on the internet and then look up what is the yield stress of carbon fibre, it'll tell you what it is in pure tension. In like a radial sense, the limit that I use is 60 megapascals. Now, going on to what I was saying before about assuming everyone is an imbecile, the guy, my materials guy, is someone I've known for a long time, and he has been proven otherwise, and he's not an imbecile. So he said 60, use 60, so that's what I've gone with. So what I've done now is I've cleaned the frame up. So there's a few burrs in there, some sort of carbon sort of deposits and fragments and rough bits, and I've cleaned them up with some very fine emery paper. Next job is to spray a bit of activator into the hole. And then we need to leave it for a little while. I'm just going to wipe this off right now. This is the new bottom bracket. It looks just like the one that came out, but it's been machined to cope with the fit issue and also the misalignment. What I've done is I've made a very small mark on the frame and a corresponding mark on the bottom bracket. You probably can't see them, but they're alignment marks, so we get the positioning absolutely bob on. The activator's gone off now, so we can install this. The standard install pieces are just as you would get with a normal Hamini bottom bracket, but I've modified the alignment tool on the other side. So let's start installing that right now. So I've set up the press. I've used a bolt nut on the other end as opposed to a normal handle, but it's only for photographic purposes. The bottom bracket's ready, everything's got to go, we just start to push. It'll go slack when it goes halfway down. It's gone slack, so it's half in. At this point, we need to apply some retaining compound on that surface and the corresponding surface on the other side. So let's do that. Okay, now the key point is the alignment mark. So I've got an alignment mark on the frame and an alignment mark on the bottom bracket. We just need to make sure they all line up. So what I've done here is I've just literally turned the bike over so it's easy to photograph. The bottom bracket's halfway in. I've applied a bit more retaining compound onto that side, and this side already has a retaining compound that you can see. This is one of my presses, so all we're going to do is press it. This is the alignment tool on the other side. So we insert that, put that through. There's a mark on the frame and a mark on the bottom bracket which you can't see. They're here and here, and I'm just going to make sure that they line up so we've got the misalignment corrected. Now that's gone firm. I'm just going to get a feeler gauge and just check around here. I can already see there's a small gap. So this is a 0.05 feeler gauge, which is 2/1000 of an inch. There's a small gap there, big gap there, but nothing there. So that tells you the frame is not perfectly square, but we knew that anyway. That's actually pretty poor. We need to give this a little test, so what I've got is I've got the original cups. Put that in, and here is a spare crank that I've got. It's a Dura-Ace crank, so we'll slide that in. Put the arm on the other side, flick that down, and we'll just screw that in hand tight. All we're doing now is we're checking for misalignment. Misalignment manifests itself in a spin test, so bottom brackets that are poorly aligned won't spin very well. So that's actually pretty good. So there's a job well done. So that's really quite good. I'm quite pleased with that. close-up of the non-dry side of the frame. So I've just cleaned it up and you see it's come through. It's quite a neat job. And this is the dry side. Again, it's fitted fairly well. And also hopefully just about seam mark. So they're aligned very, very closely. And that's about it. So there are a few things to take away from this video. I guess the most important one is if the bottom bracket gets too tight, please stop. In terms of the frame, this frame, manufacturing quality on it, to the eye looks really good, but the scans and the trouble that this bottom bracket has caused is quite significant. This would normally be a frame where you would just push in Delrin cups, put the bearings in, and you would have extremely poor life from this. The brand manufactured Tifosi, would I recommend them? Well, on the grounds of this effort, definitely not. I mean, if they want to respond in the bottom of the comments box, then they are more than welcome to do so. If you've got any comments, please write in the comments box below, or if you've got a bit more of a technical query, please send me an email, check out my website.
So this was Hambini. Visit his channel, he has a lot of really interesting stuff. He's actually a big fan of European time and look manufacturers of frame, which actually respect and watch and check the quality of their paint and their hole to be round. Yeah, that's how you call to be parallel, and basically whatever is a technical important thing, they watch and they create very, very good high quality frames, aka bicycles. But anyways, as even Hambini is saying, guys like these big companies actually create a lot of trash, a lot of crap, a lot of flaws nobody's checking. They actually push the products, the bikes, with big flaws like this, with creaks in the bottom brackets, with forks that break, with carbon bars, with carbon stem, which also fail and lead to big crashes, with wheels that are junk, with hubs that are very, very poor quality, and so on. So now you can understand that actually what you look at in general can be beautiful, can be attractive, can be, as in the beginning after the pose, a beautiful woman with some not that good background family, but that's the celebrity, that's the fame, that's the marketing, that's the Instagram, that's the YouTube, that's the promotion. When it comes to actually technology, few can actually solve these problems, or to avoid these problems, or to navigate and or to balance the things for making the products actually good, or really good, or competitive, or safe, or reliable. So because today is actually already late, I want to present you what I spoke with ChatGPT, and after that we will continue tomorrow in the next episode, watching and reading different informations which are given either by Shimano corporation, either from different journalists, either from different users of the Shimano brakes. So I will talk only about Shimano 4-piston brakes, because of course the rest of the guys maybe are good, but the standard is actually set by Shimano. So what I actually tried to find from ChatGPT is that I want to know a percentage of how much more powerful quad pistons caliper are compared to dual pistons. Firstly, checking this on YouTube, it was a bit hard to find a value, but in the end I actually found also on this reputable, let's say, website, Pink Bike, and also on Bike Radar, the same value about Shimano 4-piston brakes, and I will tell you that they approximated somewhere around 20%. Also here on Pink Bike they say somehow it's about 20%. In ChatGPT they told me that it's 20-30% more power than a 2-piston caliper. I don't think is much or low, but check again these values please, I thought. So again, an approximation from ChatGPT about SRAM is that you gain 7% more using 2mm thick H2S HS2 rotors, and for Shimano they don't specify exact percentage on their side, but as we found out, some people say that it's about 20%. A recommendation from ChatGPT was this video, which I actually opened before this recommendation, trying to search if I actually debunk a real stuff, a logic stuff, a practical fake solution in terms of technology, which is quad piston on the rear brake disc, which I actually didn't found as evident as I found the Durian Rider disc versus rim brake. As for Hambini, with misalignment and poor quality frames, as you saw, even a racing team have problems with their frames. You can't just imagine what a regular bike from the shop for Joe Watson, Joe, and Michael would look like. Of course, the tolerances and the quality check, even though you pay 20 grand, 10 grand, 5 grand, would be very, very limited or low. So I didn't found nothing very exact about this thing. Of course, I found comparisons. I found actually a guy who said something which I'll present you. It's a short video, but no near a well-spoken and clear opinion that quad piston on the rear is pretty much wrong. It's actually funny, it's unbalancing, is not necessary, but actually not just a small but a very important parasite. After even more the same question, the ChatGPT, let's say, refined the final answer, and it is around 10 and 20% more in his opinion in what he could found. So a significant power increase, but not that much, let's say, but it's actually an increase. I asked later, don't be upset, but I think I have an idea, which sadly will make your life hard. How about heat dissipation? What would be the percent? So again, I was curious how much more heat can dissipate this system compared to two piston, and he actually in the end gave me a value which I don't actually think is that big, 30 to 40% more heat dissipation ability, but to be honest, I think it's actually somewhere around maximum 30. From another point of view, very important, I also asked like this. Another thing about another subject. Please tell me, motorcycles, when they're braking, how much efficiency is on the front brake and how much you can brake with the rear wheel? The answer I actually knew. It's a very common solution. An average value, and this is the result. Very well known and good to know you also on your own. So the front brake usually can take 70 to 75% of a let's say powerful braking situation, and the rear it's about 25%, maximum 30. So no near close to 50-50. This is exactly as for cars and other vehicles. This is the video I actually saw, and this guy love MTB in Toronto made me happy with his opinion. And even though he is right, he tried to be somehow reviewing this quad piston brake in general. My opinion is much more firm, much more clear about just the rear four piston. Front piston, front wheel with four piston, maybe, yes, I don't say. I'm not that crazy, but on the back I take everything it needs to certify this thing that four piston in the back is stupid. So let's hear what he have to say.
And instead of just showing you the Diors next to my XTs, what I thought I would do is just replace the front 2-pot XT brake with my 4-pot Dior, see if I notice any difference. And here I am at Harwood Ski and Bike, the host of the 2015 Pan Am Games. If you've never tried it, Harwood is one of the best mountain bike venues in Ontario. From the fast and flowy,
Another one.
Oh, woo. Do challenging sections like Bone Shaker, and many other sections of the Pan Am Games cross-country tracks.
As you can see, this guy have fun. The bike you saw previously is a nice bike, somehow oriented for trail, for cross country, but in any ways, shape or form, we can't make the affirmation that here you actually confront yourself with heat dissipation. I actually appreciate his riding style, his bike. I don't want to discredit any of the riders. Maybe he actually ride faster than me, and he has a better bike than my bike for this category. But what I mean is that as I see this specific video of him, you can't you can generate that much heat into your rotors in to justifying either more heat dissipation, or how I see, steep or not steep, more power on the front, or the stupidity to have 4-piston in the rear. So again, seems to be a fun ride, seems to be actually a good ride, but not near close to the perfection which manufacturers try to sell. The new stuff, which is 10%, 20% more powerful. You need that. Oh, it's easy, it's nice. You need this, it will transform your riding experience. You will be Superman.
This is the sketchy part. Because of that drop. Oh, this is nothing.
And to don't be cocky, and to actually respect all the community in environments like this, in situations like this. Me and I actually can't even say that I rode these beautiful places, or these adventurous tracks. But what I meant is most of us usually like this spend our good time with bikes, which is not near close to extreme, not near close to that minimal marginal gains to actually need that much heat dissipation, or actually to be that strong to need more power, to just claim to the manufacturer, oh, you did awesome, you brought on the market the power I always needed and I didn't have until now. Thank you for quad piston.
Woo! So much fun. All right, folks, some super fun riding today. Did I tell you how much I love my Yeti SB100? Holy smokes. Do I love it more with a 4-pot brake up front? The thing that I noticed right away on the brake is it bites hard. So if you were grabbing a whole lot of lever here, you're gonna probably go over the bars really quickly. So more power, probably. Different feel of the lever, not as much. Very similar to what I feel here on the rear. I noticed that I don't have the dimples here, but I don't anymore. And I totally understand people that say, hey, I put my 4-pot brakes on, I don't feel any difference. The thing is, you get used to...
He actually, as you see here, this is 2-piston, So he actually, that's why he said the feel is almost the same. He kept his two piston for the rear and tried the quad piston for the front, and he say, okay, more power, different, a bit different, more power, but on the rear he's still on two pistons. So in general, this in my opinion should be um, the setup for any mountain bike, including also the big boys, downhill bikes, enduro bikes, and e-bikes. But who listen to me, we will investigate further. This guy is talking about only front quad in his test.
Whatever you have rather quickly. And yes, I do have 10-15% more power for my front brake, and that's great, but I don't think I would put it in the rear because I never feel like I'm lacking power.
So that's what I say. I actually found somewhere on YouTube a review, a opinion, a the truth, the truth. But it is actually in a context of reviewing the four piston. In general, is worth Dior over Dior XT over the cheaper model, Shimano over whatever. How do you feel? How is that or whatever? The guy actually said objectively, but subjectively enough, I don't think I would install on the back quad piston because I don't need. In this specific case, I actually feel the need to do a 10 seconds video about you're very stupid if you use four piston on the rear, your bike is unbalanced, and in general you don't know that much either about bikes, either about motorcycles, either about bicycles or cars or whatever. You just prove that you are unique, and as those guys in the road community, flexing, let's say, or being proud that they have a 20 grand bike which is actually slow or harder to manage. In the same way, quad piston on the rear is without logic. Again, let's listen his opinion, his very well spoken opinion, his nice opinion, let's say.
Do have 10-15% more power for my front brake, and that's great, but I don't think I would put it in the rear because I never feel like I'm lacking power here. But what do I think about the 4-pot Diors? Well, I'm a bit disappointed that they are not the same calipers that XT and SLX use. I'm wondering if the M520, the non-series, is pretty much the same thing but cheaper. When it comes to braking power modulation, I think they're fine, but I'm probably the wrong guy to talk about that because I'm fine with the 2-pot calipers as well, and I'm gonna keep them and install them on the Commensal Meta that I started building recently. If you guys haven't seen that on my channel, you might want to check it out. And I thought I would finish the video right there, but you know what? After riding these one more day on the local trails, they're kind of growing up on me. It's not the extra power because you get used to that, but I think it's the way it comes in. It's very smooth, and that would probably qualify as better modulation. The 2-pot brakes are plenty powerful, but they're definitely a bit more on-off. So if you don't mind the extra weight of the 4-pot calipers, or brakes or the extra price tag because they're more expensive than the two-pot, I think I would highly recommend them for trail riding for sure. Definitely for something more like enduro. And by the way, the downhill guys are using the XTR versions of this.
For front and rear, maybe the recommendation is very well thought to use it in front, but on the rear I actually take the risk to make everybody crazy about this subject and to stand out with affirmation so radical like this.
What about you folks? Do you use two-pot or four-pot Shimano brakes? Do you have any experience with the 520s? Are they any different than the Diors that I described here? I would love to hear your comments. If you found this useful, don't forget to like, subscribe.
Alright, so this was the last video of today, or no, let's watch this one, which was recommended by ChatGPT, but I want to actually present you what Shimano introduced into early 2000s, a model which is 755, so XT, early 2000s, which is a quad piston. After that they went only with two pistons, and of course after some time they came back and offered us the mighty quad piston. So as you can see here, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4 piston Shimano Dior XT, nothing new. This is actually between the first generations of hydraulic line rotor disc brake from Shimano, and it was a 4 piston. So again, maybe those engineers weren't crazy to just implement power, or of course they implemented power, they made the difference between front and rear. If you again type motorcycle brakes, brakes calipers, usually you will find some 3 piston front and 1 piston or single piston, 2 double piston in the rear. Let's find some rear. As you can see here, double piston, quad piston front. Brembo, I don't know how much pistons have, maybe 2, maybe 3 each side. This is a double piston, so 4. And rear, let's say rear, but let's check for the Yamaha R1, let's say. Something badass, something important, something powerful. Alright, double. I can accept this, no problem. This is what I want to see, a R1 or a R1M. The old R1, let's say S1000 RR BMW. So it's only double piston, only dual piston. No, this is a quad, I think, a quad piston. I'm not sure. Yep. So in general, we can find the same rule which applies to motorcycles. One piston more in the rear, it's enough. Of course, disc size, as you can see, it's smaller on the rear. As for cars, the same principle applies exactly as for motorcycles, but whoever think or didn't even think about bicycles and apply this stupid formula, I think can improve it by doing it in the right way. So this is the front calipers. In general, these are the back calipers. As you can see, different size. In general, this is just a scheme, but you can see here the piston size for the front is more than double. This is the rear piston area, this is the front piston area. So even at cars, usually, as you can see, front brakes take almost the same percentage from here. Maybe it's a 65-35, but the same principle applies here. You can see the forces which are used to calculate the braking curves, the ideal braking curves, and so on. This braking curve is very important because they try actually this secondary curve to be always or as much as possible below the ideal curve, with or without ABS or other systems, and they manage to make it as much possible to work, let's say, good with or without ABS. Showing you also the servo wave curve for the Shimano brakes which use this system, which can be new brakes or old brakes, hydraulic brakes. These are mechanical brakes, V brakes, so it's nothing that fancy. Is a system which gives you the possibility to reach a bigger power and faster curve. So the more you pull the lever, the more power. This would be the regular behavior, which translates to let's say either this one, either this linear one. So from this, of course, Shimano came up with a faster bite point, which is here compared to this one, and with an increased power than the regular. Why I say it's a dumb idea to use also quad piston in the rear, because as you can see here, for Lamborghini Aventador brakes calipers, you know, a lot of money, well engineered, racing, and blah 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 blah. So it's not my stuff. I don't own this kind of things. You can see here the front calipers have 1, 2, 3, so 6 pistons each one, and the rear have, let me zoom so you can see better. So the front are 3 on each side, so 6, and the rear 4 piston, which of course a much thicker and not thicker, much bigger disc size in the front and a smaller one in the back. If someone can explain me again about our topic, why on mountain bike, even though they are e-bikes, so electric bikes, which usually have 5 kilos, 10 kilos more than a regular bike, which of course can be the difference in my weight. I can have 80 kilos and also me in the past had 70 or 73 kilos. Do I need quad piston in general? Do I need quad piston also in the rear? With this in the rear, of course, every logical people from what I show you happens in cars, in motorcycles and so on, would actually say no, it's dumb. Even the opinion of that guy with his bicycle actually said, man, I don't think I need on the rear that much power because I don't feel the necessity of that power in the rear. So again, no discussion. For front, of course, there are topics. I'm not trying to suggest anyone to remove the fork caliper. I'm just referring to the dumb idea to debunk it and actually to make it even more clear by more information and more information that it's actually worse or it's actually really bad to have that much power on the rear wheel. Keep this in mind. To cars, also as to motorcycles, usually manufacturers, based on calculations, they fit bigger calipers and discs in front and the smaller ones in the back, because the weight transfers always, as for motorcycle and cars, put more pressure on the front wheels. Let's watch this video, as I said, and this one is the last for today. I will have something really special for you tomorrow. I actually laughed a lot today.
Brakes for your mountain bike are super important.
I actually laughed today, but this laugh was a salty one, not that sweet. So it was a very paradoxical laugh about those who actually choose 4 pistons, and now we mean front and rear, who spot the difference is me and few others, who criticize maybe I'm the only, and that's why it will be an interesting topic tomorrow, checking what Shimano actually wrote. Shimano engineers, so basically the best engineers in the world community of bicycles, as Durian Rider said, for the whole bicycle industry, not for few dentists, for some barista who want to be the best in their town, the coolest, the most famous. The industry is also an industry for those who have bikes of $300 for the Asian market, for Africa, for Europe, for whatever other disciplines which are not even about performance. So in this way we will read with increased attention, paying attention to the small details, about what actually Shimano in their manual, in their announcement actually said when they released these technologies, these products, which of course in the end will be very funny for those still using quad piston on the rear.
but often taken for granted. But if you didn't have these, well, you'd look like this.
It's all bust.
Alright, I don't want jokes. I will skip because this is their description. Many bikes come stock with 2-piston brakes, but should you upgrade to 4-piston brakes? But wait, what even are 4-piston brakes? In this video, we'll compare 2-piston and 4-piston brakes and help you decide which is best for you and your riding style. So if I tell you in this video I will compare and I will describe and I will help you to choose, to decide best for you, maybe you will expect from me to actually tell you something which is based on some facts, which actually takes into consideration my style, which is actually technological. But in the end you will see that these guys say, oh, this has whatever system, this is 20 grams heavier, this has a bit of more power. So yeah, if you want power, if you want așa, you are free to invest your money and we help you and we compared. No, this is no comparison, this is just as I present you whatever two objects here, and I spent 10 minutes and I said that I reviewed those objects. That's not a review, or if that's a review, we go, let's say, from review to deep truth, factual stuff, engineering, thought, processed, experimented, refined situations which are not these reporters, these reviewers, these YouTubers ability to basically not even understand, because they don't need, they only promote. This should have been the correct opinion. Hey guy, I try to promote this new cool stuff. If you would like to buy it and test you and give me back some opinions and your money, of course, I will be free to help you. So not near close to, will compare 2-piston and 4-piston and help you decide which is best for you and your riding style. Crap.
Power from the get-go, then you will greatly benefit from an upgrade to 4-piston brakes. Plain and simple. You'll also be able to ride faster with better brakes. But wait, how can having better brakes make you ride faster? Isn't their only purpose to slow you down?
So, what does it mean? Does it mean better? Is better more powerful? So, is better lighter? So, these two notions, better and lighter, has nothing to do with, so more powerful and lighter has nothing to do with better or with best or to help you in any way, shape or form. Better means an intersection, it's an average, is a how you can say, it's a mix of multiple and very well thought and choose specific details, which has nothing to do with power, more power. Yes, maybe some power would make you go faster, would stop you faster, so you could go faster. But this is also on two separate fields, let's say like this: front wheel and rear wheel. For the rear wheel, as I showed you, motorcycles, cars, it's a one level less number of pistons. For front, whoever thinks it's for them well suited, best suited, they choose.
Well, yes, but if you have confidence that your brakes will actually slow you down, then you'll feel more confident to let her rip and ride fast.
Again, what confidence have to have with or to the creation of the performance, when, as you saw before, you have a brand new model of a heavier bike, your confidence is equal with 0. It maybe help you to train fast, but to win races is not enough. As in Hambini video, what confidence have to do with that stuck bottom bracket, with that frame which had the cups misaligned and undersized, so were smaller, so you had 4 watts at 35, a loss, a huge loss. Confidence.
For example, I rode these Shimano XT M8000 two-piston brakes for a season out here in the Pacific Northwest, and while I was riding steep trails, I was straight up just like holding the lever the whole time to keep me at a slow pace so I didn't speed up too quick, because I really felt like at the bottom of steep sections of trail that if I grabbed my brake to slow myself down after carrying speed downhill, that I wasn't going to stop. These things had a tremendous amount of brake fade. They just didn't have enough power for the style of riding that I'm doing.
Man, I can't believe and I can't trust him. Sorry. He have 60 kilos, 65 kilos, 70 kilos. Dude, is abnormal. This is a lie. Sorry. Usually you can't call the other one a liar, but go watch races of different cross-country races, or even how he said, you go eternally downhill, and at the bottom of the downhill ride you just squeeze and the bike didn't stop. Oh, come on, give me a break.
But after putting those away and going back to my preferred brakes, the SRAM Code RSC, I felt like I could actually carry my speed down steep sections of trail, because I knew that at the bottom of those steeps I could grab brake and slow myself down. So just a lot more enjoyable, and I felt like overall I could just ride my bike better. Switching from Shimano to SRAM brakes was not the direct fix. It was going from a 2-piston brake to a more powerful 4-piston brake. Riding in any area with any vertical descending will be benefited from more powerful brakes. There's never really a bad time to have more powerful brakes, so even if you're only going up and down a couple hundred feet on your ride, then you're still going to be very happy on your descent with more stopping power.
Wrong. The stopping power is a consequence for the heat in the system. So to generate heat, to maintain heat, and to don't create over the optimum level, so to overheat the system. So if you say the power, to have power on the 100, 300 meters ride or whatever, but just to have power, maybe with this bigger caliper solution you didn't generated the heat needed for the 2-piston system to actually work properly, to be into his optimum parameters, and to actually give you the power engineers actually design that system to offer. And don't get me wrong, if I'm wrong, we will read on Shimano website at this 5 minute 31 or 5 minute 10 his affirmation that man, it's awesome to have a lot of power, to have power. Power is generated when you generate heat. When you generate heat, you also dissipate heat. But to just have power, oh man, I have power, I bought this, I have in my bank account power, I have money, I have power. It's not like that. You don't come with power in your pocket. You don't come with your power into your backpack. You generate the power by using the brakes at optimum temperature only, or as close as possible.
Also, if you're just a larger rider, then having a more powerful brake will definitely help keep your speed in check. A 4-piston brake is naturally a little heavier than a 2-piston brake because it's got more pistons. So if you live in a flat area and mostly do cross-country riding and you don't really need a more powerful brake, then a 2-piston brake is probably fine for you. Seriously, we were sitting around and scratching our head for a little while to even just find anything that could possibly be made negative of having more stopping power of a 4-piston brake. And really the only thing that we could kind of conjure up between us was that 4-piston brakes require a little bit more maintenance than 2-piston.
Oh, so the only thing they found not good, not appropriate, not to be recommended for this quad piston brake is how I actually found all this discussion, and I developed this discussion, which was not a maintenance problem, but that noise when the disc sometimes, I don't know why, only on straight, so not cornering left or right, was making. And I multiple times tried to readjust to make it disappear. So somehow this is the only disadvantage for the 4-piston, which could be some maintenance problem because you have 2 more pistons more. Yeah, this is really strange, because also I showed you in the previous video some guys going down a glacier, a mountain with snow and ice, and they just went into a barrier of ice, crushed one into another, jumped one over the other, destroyed their bikes, broke their bones, took with helicopter, and so on. What could be the problem of more power quad piston brakes? Too much power, man. That could be the problem. If you talk about an e-bike, a downhill bike, or a enduro, prolonged descent, up and then descent and up and then descent bike, of course, front, rear only, quad piston, yes, rear wheel 4-piston, never. What could be wrong? Oh, only the maintenance.
Brakes, 2 extra pistons means that there's 2 extra seals inside of the caliper, so technically you have to keep 2 extra seals clean, but for the most part you don't really have to do that, so that's not really a downside. We're really reaching for a negative. And also a 4-piston brake will be slightly more expensive than a 2-piston brake, but it's not worth saving like $16 to get a less powerful brake when you need the extra power of a 4-piston brake. So again, that's...
You need that power. You need that power. It's not a problem about money. It's about the balance. You need that power. Where? To the front, to the rear. Did you actually exploit it? Did you actually manage to work the entire capacity of 2-piston brake at the optimum temperature, with the optimum disc size, with the optimum disc technology into cooling, with the finned pads and whatever? So you actually needed more. And how much more? So you go downhill, whatever a steep descent. How often do you that? How often? On the clock, how often? 25 times a day, 7 days a week, 4 weeks a month, 12 months a year, and 10 years. Maybe you do that, you know, how often? Few times a month in the season, and you actually maybe you feel the break fade, let's say, or the difference that you would actually only like but not need the power, the extra power. Can you cope with that? Can you accept? Can you make this compromise? But why? Because I need more power. Because one time a month, few times a month, I need a bit of more power. But in the rest of the descent, in the rest of the days, in the rest of the year, what you do with that power is exactly because in the engineering, in my field, installation, we usually argue to the people. Don't think maybe it's just from us feeling how you say poorer than the expensive boss who bought a big house. Man, you buy a big house. First of all, who will clean all the windows of that house? You, your wife, your kids. You hire someone to clean all these windows because that cost a lot of money. Second, who heat and cool down the entire building or as much as the building? So you build a house, a nice house, a beautiful house. Who pays for heating in the winter? Oh, more, I want more, I need more, I like more. But you can't make a compromise for those days and to actually force yourself to go through that, and in the rest of the usual life to just maintain a decent or actually competitive level, not that extreme, not that, close to the aka perfection or I want more power thing.
Not really a downside. Also, one thing worth mentioning is that most 2-piston brakes and also sometimes 4-piston brakes on stock bikes will come with organic brake pads pre-installed in them. So if you just want a smidge more power out of your stock brakes, check to see if you have organic brake pads installed in them. And if you do, definitely swap those out for metallic brake pads. You'll have more power while descending. And if you're not sure what kind of brake pads you have, you can feel free to email us at info@thelostco and send us a picture of your brake pad setup and we'll help you out there. But if you definitely want a noticeable power increase, then let's get you some brakes. Like most bikes and parts, there's way too many options on the market. So these are the brakes that we personally ride and recommend to all of our customers. Like I said, there's a ton of brake options on the market from brands like Hope, TRP, Magura, etc., all of which work very well, but these are just some common examples of our go-to brakes here in the shop. We'll start on the low price points and work our way all the way up to the best of the best. So if you're just looking to get some 4-piston brakes on your bike for a low price, then we would highly recommend these Shimano MT501/MT520s. These are $144.99 and are a super simple brake. These use the old Shimano iSpec 2 style levers and just don't have a super pretty finish like SLX or XTs. These will be the heaviest option, require a tool to adjust lever reach, and do not come with IceTech brake pads. But they will offer reliable performance and a good amount of stopping power at a price that will make most people happy. Alright, now let's move over to what we consider to be the best bang for your buck brake on the market right now, and that would be the Shimano SLX M7120s. These are $174.99. The overall finish is much nicer and they just look and feel like a nicer product compared to the Dior MT520s. These use the new Shimano EV style levers, which, this sounds stupid but it's true, are stiffer and offer a way better feel than the iSpec 2 style levers since they flex less. SLX levers use tool-free reach adjust, so you can adjust your levers easily and use IceTech brake pads, which have heatsink fins to keep the brake's temperature down for more consistency. SLX brakes will be more powerful and consistent on long descents versus the Dior due to their new internal redesign to give them the same power as their downhill rated Saint brakes. We've been testing these for a while.
So I've got nothing with these guys, with this channel, nothing personal, nothing even you know, as opinions. I just let's say use this opportunity, this video, because this guy is trying to help also me into choosing the best brake for my style or something. But with the discussion, I actually try to make you turn the wheels. I try to make you understand. I try to show you what usually in general is their help, how they try to help you to choose the best for your style, which until now, to be honest, I didn't actually talk about my style. In this video, how can he help me, because it's actually 8 minutes 52 from 11 minutes and it's nothing about style. He presented me the levers, the price points. What does this have with my riding style? This is shop thing, this is marketing thing, this is, you know, this has nothing to do with actual technology, with actual basic stuff. And after you talk about those things, all right, you can find a solution in the market, or you can come as close as possible for your own need, let's say like that. So until here, how he helped me with my own style to know if I actually need quad piston. It's not about SLX versus Dior XT versus Code. The title is many bike come stock with 2 piston brakes, but should you upgrade to 4 piston brakes? It's not about upgrade from Dior to SLX to Dior XT to SRAM, whatever. It's not about that, the quality level. It's about the technology. Do I need 2 piston? Do I need 4 piston? And which is my style? Because if I didn't told you what is my style, how can you recommend me? Or that's why I say I have nothing with this guy or with his channel. How can anyone recommend me or you anything? But of course, the actual answer is you need to know what is best for you. You need to understand the concepts. You need to try different approaches and to refine and to discover what works for you. No one can just give that to you. Oh, this is the best. Alright, everybody can sell you a brand new SLX 7120 4 piston at only $170, $100. I can too, even though I don't have. Maybe I can find a good deal. Everyone can do that. Everyone do that. But actually the truth, where is it?
While not only do they have awesome modulation, but they've got quite a bit of stopping power, which makes them pretty sweet for the price. Now the next step up from those would be the Shimano XT M8120s, which are $209.99. These are basically the same brakes as the SLX, but with a slightly different finish color and a free stroke adjustment, which, to be honest, doesn't really do anything. XTs also come in a black box instead of the lame blue box that the SLXs come in, and they say XT on it. And to be honest, you'll probably just want XT brakes if you just want XT brakes. But now onto our shop favorite brake, which we consider to be the best brake on the market, the SRAM Code RSC. The Code RSCs sell for $245 each and offer the most power and the most adjustability. The lever not only has tool-free reach, but also pad contact adjustment, which lets you control where the bite point sits. So when you're squeezing the brake lever and you think that the distance in the lever throw is just too far for your personal preference, then you can dial up that pad contact adjustment and then reduce the amount of distance in the lever's throw, making it just more touchy, and you can really dial it in to feel exactly how you want it. Plus, they've got a...
So he actually say about XT that
and they say XT on it. And to be honest, you'll probably just want XT brakes if you just want XT brakes. But now onto our shop favorite brake.
no this.
$09.99. These are basically the same brakes as the SLX. Really do anything.
So it doesn't actually do anything.
Finish color and a free stroke adjustment, which, to be honest, doesn't really do anything.
So for Shimano, which is 25% less than that SRAM crap, because alright, this is my opinion, Shimano is better than SRAM in every aspect, especially for the brakes. The debate usually is that SRAM makes better derailleur, better cranksets, whatever, but for brakes everyone knows the Shimano products are way ahead of this SRAM crap, more expensive with 25% more, so $2,500 with $250. And for Shimano that doesn't make anything, but the SRAM rival, oh, you can adjust the pad contact in. That's exactly what Shimano, with that thing you say it doesn't do anything, does. It's a joke, of course, because if you take that serious and you actually believe this you know, misunderstanding these little details and you actually go on their funnel, alright, pay, you buy whatever you want, but that doesn't mean you or your bike are a real deal. You just bought expensive crap.
Different finish color and a free stroke adjustment, which, to be honest, doesn't really do anything. XT.
So what maybe he want to say is that free stroke adjuster is not necessary, because there are very simple methods which, even though you don't have free stroke adjuster, you can adjust without that special thing. But you also can adjust in the same way any SRAM, Magura, Hope, other brake in the same way as Shimano, without the function that SRAM offers, is that knob for pad in, pad out, whatever crap. Sorry, this is the truth.
These also come in a black box instead of the lame blue box that the SLXs come and offer the most power and the most adjustability. The lever not only has tool-free reach, but also pad contact adjustment, which lets you control what...
This one. This is not necessary. And of course, this one works either for SRAM, either for Shimano.
The bite point sits. So when you're squeezing the brake lever and you think that the distance in the lever throw is just too far for your personal preference, then you can dial up that pad contact adjustment and then reduce the amount of distance in the lever's throw, making it just more touchy, and you can really dial it in to feel exactly how you want it. Plus, they've got amazing modulation and you can seriously control your speed incredibly well with these things. So if you are riding aggressively and...
Oh, so now he basically say what?
can seriously control your speed incredibly well with these things.
So it's not about power, oh powerful, the most powerful. Alright, maybe it's about modulation, but in the end it's about controlling your speed.
Plus, they've got amazing modulation, and you can seriously control your speed incredibly well with these things.
Oh, so it's about controlling your speed, not about power. Think, man, think.
So if you are riding aggressively and you want the ability to adjust everything to get everything feeling exactly how you'd like it, then you are going to be best suited with the SRAM codes. All right, well, there you have it. That was the ins and outs of 2-piston versus 4-piston mountain bike brakes. Now, what brakes are you riding on your bike? We'd love to know, so let us know in the comments below this video. And as always, if you like this video, hit that thumbs up. And if you really like this video, subscribe to our channel. Click that little bell notification so that you don't miss out on any of...
So, the important mention at 5 and 10, I won't forget. But let's see if, you know, he helped us or we just lost time. Again, many bikes come back stock. Bikes come stock with 2-piston brakes, but should you upgrade to 4-piston brakes? But wait, what even are 4-piston brakes? Oh, I'm stupid. Oh, what are 4-piston brakes? In this video, we'll compare 2-piston and 4-piston brakes and help you decide which is best for you and your riding style. He compared here, if that's called a comparison, only 4-piston as price range and different quality attributes. But how about best for me, for my style, and as he said here, whatever here.
And you think that the distance in the left stick adjustment, and you can seriously control your speed incredibly well with these.
So, how about controlling speed? Because that's for this brake system to decide best for you. This is a joke, and like this, almost everywhere, if you try to find comparison or review of 2-piston, 4-piston review, whatever, you will find this kind of comparison. Oh, that's cost a lot, this cost much, this is Shimano, this is what, this have power, this was exceptionally. That's why I said from my research that the previous guy, the one with the blue Yeti, actually talked good and he was clever and he spoke the truth, subjective and objective, that on the rear wheel the 4-piston, in his opinion, because he don't feel the need of more power, the more dissipation of heat and so on, he wouldn't you know, even try to actually install 4-piston on the rear. For the front, you know, it's a debate, you test if you like, whatever you buy. But that's basically all of the YouTube. Nothing drastically, nothing clear to basically tell you, no, dude, you actually need one 4-piston caliper, not even the set of levers, you know, new levers, whatever this guy is selling here. You can see he have 4 boxes with brakes in them. And if you think about a bit, because he actually mentioned the weight differences. Where you said, man, about weight difference? Here. Oh, so this is 144 each, and the lever doesn't have this knob here to adjust the lever, and whatever. you know what I am teaching you? Man, if you don't have power, keep the same levers as I actually use on this commensal meta right here. Keep the same levers, keep the same rear caliper, the 2-piston rear caliper, and you won't pay more than 40-50 bucks for a 4-piston front, let's say, even though it's unidirectional or front and rear, they are the same, for a 4 caliper for the front. Let me actually check. Caliper Shimano 4 piston 520. Price, let's see on bike discount, 47 euro. I didn't check. This is just, let's say, experience which talk. So you can buy with 50 euros that set, and you don't need to pay 150 for front, 150 for whatever, or SLX or XT 200. And anyway, now you buy the SRAM code RSC, which is best and is not like Shimano, and you can adjust what you can adjust without that for any brake. As I said you, there's a trick, maybe I'll present you. Why firstly to install double 4-piston front and rear? Why to buy brand new levers when maybe you need or want to try just the front quad piston, which is 47 euros? Maybe you can buy it for 40 at a nice discount sometime for Christmas. Why? You know, just to spend money, just to unbalance things. Why? For me, this is a mystery.
Powerful 4-piston brake. Riding in any area with any vertical descending will be benefited from more powerful brakes. There's never really a bad time to have more powerful brakes, so even if you're only going up and down a couple hundred feet on your ride, then you're still going to be very happy on your descent with more stopping power.
Yeah, so this is the end of this section. We will start the next section with this affirmation, and we will debunk it, why there are moments or periods of moments or situations where we don't need just power or much power or maximum power, or if we use a bit our brain and our muscles, we will understand that this power for few hundred feet, as he said, oh, your requirements are not that much, but maybe you need power because you just like power, even though you're not a Spartacus, even though you're not Superman, you need power. That means you don't need power. So if you are not able to manage the power, that means you don't need that much power. It's a saying with the small cup, big cup. So for example, whoever received from God different attributes, and for each one what he received, he have to actually be responsible with that, to multiply it and to take care of that, even though he received a small amount, even though he received a big amount. For that one who received small, God will ask him small, will ask from him small, but to that one which God gave him a lot, God also asked a lot. But to these guys, you know, oh, you just go a few 100 feet, but you need power, a lot of power, maximum power, JDM power, Supra power, RB power, 2JZ power. This is the end of this video. We'll continue tomorrow with new power, you know. We will refresh our power with this joke at the end.